Oh hey, the water effect is definitely happening here too. You've been poked. You're here now. Excellent. Go to the gummy ship. This is a weird thing to me. You don't get the trophy for completing a world. That's what you get for reading. You don't get the trophy for completing the world until after you leave the world after you've completed it. Alright, so we're gonna warp on over to Agrabah. And then I'm gonna fly us over to the next world. And while we're there, since I said I was waiting for both of you to be here to tell my story about the time, about like stuff about Kingdom Hearts. You're both here, so I'll tell you that story while we're flying over here. So basically, back in the day when this game came out, 2002, I had a Blockbuster Game Pass, which is kind of the same idea as Netflix, except, you know, before Netflix. Not much before Netflix, but a little bit. So you could rent one game at a time. You paid a monthly fee, you rented one game at a time, keep it out as long as you want, and then, you know, return it whenever you want, grab another game. And I thought this was awesome. Like, I don't have to buy video games anymore. I'll just pay this $10 monthly fee, and I can play a game and be done with it and return it. So I went to Blockbuster one day in 2002, and I said to myself, I want to get this Lord of the Rings game. I don't remember which one it was. It was probably, I think what it was I wanted the first of the adventure hack and slash Lord of the Rings games. But the problem was that the first one was called The Two Towers. They didn't make a Fellowship of the Ring hack and slash game. They just made a Two Towers and a Return of the King one. So I went there and I'm like, well, they don't have the one I want. So I gotta get something because I got this Game Pass. And they had, I've always watched a lot of Disney Channel, just because. And they had Kingdom Hearts, and I'd seen lots of commercials for Kingdom Hearts because I watched Disney, and Disney was like, hey, it's a video game with Disney in it. And I was like, well, I've seen ads for this, and it doesn't look, you know, wonderful, doesn't look like the best game I've ever played, but I've got this Game Pass, I gotta get something. And if I hate it, I'll just bring it back tomorrow, and maybe they'll have my game tomorrow. So I rented the game, and I got hooked about the point, I think you probably missed this point, Rose, it's early in the game, when Riku gets sucked into the realm of darkness, and Sora gets the Keyblade, he's gonna go after him. And I was just like, holy crap, well, I gotta see what happens now. His best friend is like sucked into darkness, and there's this weird dream thing going on, and I don't understand what's going on, but it's crazy, and I need to understand. So I'm gonna stick with this game. And I think I've always said what followed is this game that I'm playing now, and how amazing it is, with a really awesome story, really strong, interesting characters who do really interesting things, and just like the whole mystery and the weirdness of it all. I'd never played like I'd never played a JRPG, a Japanese role-playing game, or really any Japanese game with a strong story element in it. So I wasn't used to the weirdness, and I was just like, I completely fell in love with it. And I've said for a long time that this was the first game I ever beat without cheating. That may not strictly be true. I may have actually beaten Rogue Squadron on my N64 without cheating first. But I might have cheated to beat that too. Don't remember. Yeah. So I just fell in love with the game. And it was certainly one of the first games I ever beat without cheating. And not only did I beat it without cheating, but I had to beat it twice because it was a Blockbuster rental, so of course the disc was covered in scratches. And when the game started to play the end cutscene, it froze. So I had to get out our disc doctor. Yeah, it was very much happenstance. But I had to get out our disc doctor, and I had to clean the disc, and then put it back in, and then beat the final boss again so I could watch the ending cutscene. And then more happenstance happened, when I was at college the first time, and I was an RA, I was a resident assistant, so I had lobby duty one night a week, and I was playing Kingdom Hearts in the lobby one night while I was, you know, sitting on duty. And one of the residents in the hall saw me playing Kingdom Hearts in there, and he says, "What's your favorite Final Fantasy?" And I said, "Final Fantasy?" He says, "Yeah, which one's your favorite?" I said, "Oh, well, I've never played them because I can never find the first one, and I don't want to play them out of order." He says, "Wait, you're playing Kingdom Hearts and you never played Final Fantasy? Hang on a second." He runs up to his room, he gets his copy of Final Fantasy X. He runs back, he says, "You can't play any more Kingdom Hearts until you play Final Fantasy X." And I said, he says, "It doesn't matter what order it's in. They're all different. So you play Final Fantasy X, it's a unique story from all the others." And that is how I became a huge Final Fantasy fan, a huge Final Fantasy nerd, a huge JRPG nerd. And that is why that's completely changed my life, because now I spend so much time playing JRPGs, it's not even funny. Like, even my two most played mobile games are Final Fantasy Record Keeper and right now Final Fantasy Dissidia Opera Omnia. Right. So if you're a huge... The funny thing is that people talk about this, they say it's a crossover between Final Fantasy and Disney, and I don't really think that it is. And I'd like to get your take on it now that you've watched this and see what you think about it when we get to the end. I don't think this is a crossover between Disney and Final Fantasy. I think this is Disney with random Final Fantasy cameos. So I think that's amusing. But we're now at Halloween Town, and I'm wasting time on my timer, so let's get down there and see what's going on here. This is not Halloween, this is Memorial Day, but it's Halloween. I wonder if there's a Memorial Day tree in Halloween Town. This sure is a spooky place. I'll bet the people here are scary looking too. Don't worry, we look spooky too. If they scare us, we'll scare them right back. You think so? This is one of the few times in this game where they actually change costumes to fit in with their world. Yeah, well, it was made by Square Enix, so it makes sense that it's you know, Final Fantasy style storytelling with Disney characters. The interesting thing that you say that is that this is kind of unique Kingdom Hearts game in that there's actually unique stories told with the Disney characters. The other games, pretty much, you just play through the story, but with random changes to make Sora fit in. And otherwise, everything's the same. So you can see, we got some Heartless here. Can't do anything to them. They don't seem interested in doing anything to us. I wonder what that's about. Can't go in that door.
And now, allow me to introduce the Master of Terror, the King of Nightmares, Jack Skellington!
No, these are unique costumes for this world. You'll know. Remember, you may not have been here at the beginning of the game. I'll tell you after the cutscene.
Will be a big hit at this year's Halloween.
Thank you, thank you. But their movement still needs work. It's not scary enough. I want to strike bone-chilling terror. I'm going to consult the doctor.
Then I'll go attend to the decorations.
So, at the beginning of the game, when Donald and Goofy were getting ready to go on their mission, they said, "We can't meddle," and they said, what was the other thing they said? They said, oh yeah, they said, "Well, we need costumes for each world. We'll need outfits for each world." Pull on this spider and get a screaming sound. We'll need different outfits for each world, so we'll blend in. And then they have not done that. They had to do the, like, physical transformation. Elixir. They had to do the physical transformation in Atlantica, but this is the first time they've actually changed costumes, so they look like Halloween town people. And I don't know why this is the one that gets a costume change and not the others.
I don't
But there you go.
understand. Maybe the guidance system was damaged in the explosion.
Nonsense. My devices are always perfect.
Oh, I've got it! Why, of course. The Heartless need a heart. Doctor, do you think we can add a heart to that device?
Certainly. A heart's not all that complicated. Let's get to work.
To make a heart, first take a container with a lock.
We need the key to this thing first.
You're really gonna unlock it for them? Why not? If they succeed, we won't have to fight the Heartless, right? Besides, I want to see the Heartless dance too. Don't you? Not really. They didn't even ask him.
My, that was amazing.
He just ran in there and unlocked it.
And you are...
Sora.
Well done, Sora. I'd like you to be a part of this year's Halloween.
What's this Heartless doing here?
Oh, the Heartless came to town just recently. What's frustrating is I can't get them to dance with me. So, the doctor and I are trying to improve the guidance system. He's quite a genius. Okay, Doctor, let's continue. The ingredients for a heart. Pulse. Emotion.
Terror?
Fear. Hope and despair. Mix them all together, and we have a heart.
It's alive! Nope, never mind.
It failed.
We're very on curry.
Maybe we're missing some ingredients. Let's try adding memory. Sally? Sally! Good for nothing girl. Don't know why I bothered creating her. Sally's got the memory we need. See if you can track her down.
No problem. Sora, would you like to come along?
Sure.
Okay, so yeah. So the whole meddling thing cracks me up because, of course, that is, it's not really a callback to, but it...
Jack! Jack! We have a major crisis! The Heartless are completely out of control! We can't stop them!
Maybe our experiment triggered something. Everything will be fine, Mayor. You have nothing to worry about.
Yeah. So it's very similar, of course, to the Prime Directive in Star Trek. And that cracks me up because in both places, they pretty much always ignore it. They're like, oh, but we're going to do good. Of course, the whole point of the Prime Directive is that even when you're trying to do good, sometimes you accidentally end up doing evil. And yet, they always just really do good in order to... They break the Prime Directive to accomplish good, and all they ever actually accomplish is good. It's interesting. Basically, the Prime Directive only exists in Star Trek so that we know they're breaking the rules when they do nice things, and we can feel more strongly about, well, they feel so strongly about doing the right thing that they will break the rules in order to do the right thing. Hey, Talibran. We are just starting Halloween Town now. I mean, I don't know that that's what they intended it to be when the Star Trek writers came up with it. And I don't think the Kingdom Hearts writers spent a lot of time thinking about it one way or the other. Let's check this place too, once the Heartless are out of our way. But yeah, I don't know that the Star Trek writers meant it, and I don't think the Kingdom Hearts writers thought about it one way or the other. But that's basically how it ended up, at least in Star Trek, and it doesn't mean anything here. They just say, well, we should meddle, but then they do. Okay, and that's the end of it. Well, that's how they use it a lot of times, but that's not necessarily how it was originally intended. Because really, the Prime Directive is if you change anything about the society, yeah. If you change anything about the society...
Zero, have you seen Sally anywhere?
Is something wrong, Jack?
No, everything's going great. We're going to have the best Halloween ever. All we need now is your memory.
Memory? You mean this?
Obtained a forget-me-not. Of course, a forget-me-not flower
I
would
have
be
a
memory.
bad feeling about this. Why don't you try something else? There's still time.
Nothing could beat what I've got planned. Once we give the Heartless a heart, they'll dance just as I envision it. Trust me, you're going to love it.
I like how Jack knows they're called Heartless. How does Jack know they're called Heartless? I mean, he acted like he knew they were called Heartless before we got here. Like, when we talk about Heartless, he's just like, yeah, the Heartless. Of course. Oh, it'll only get worse, I'm sure.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I sure did. A heart. What should we do?
Gosh, you really are stupid. Isn't it obvious? Tell Oogie Boogie.
Oh, I guess so. But Heartless was a name that Ansem made up for them. We only call them Heartless because Ansem did. I don't know. What was I saying? Oh, but if you change anything about a society, you've altered the course of their evolution, and you could have caused problems by trying to do good. So, really, the Prime Directive should apply to any change to a society. Now, just one more ingredient. We need surprise to complete the heart. The mayor should know where it is. Yes, Tally and Edward. I guess... Well, we are if we don't find them.
Jack is really making a heart. I'll be jiggered. That works for me. Ooh, when I get my hands on that... Well, I've got no hands, but I'm still gonna nab that heart and control the Heartless.
Here's a quick shout out to all of my patrons. For as little as $1 a month, you too can have your name listed here. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, please do hit the like and subscribe buttons to help me reach more people.